Hello, I'm David Bush, Director at Uniseg Products. I'm here to demonstrate our new version of the battery transport and storage container, or also known as the BTS container. So for 10 years we've used a current version, and from that we've learnt a lot about what works well and what the deficiencies are. So we finally have come up with a new design, and I'm just going to walk through and show you some of the key points, improvements to this particular design. We've actually just commenced tooling for the new Mark II version of the BTS container, and we'd expect to have these available within 8 to 12 months time. So this is a 3D printed model, but you'll see I'm dressed in appropriate PPE gear, the fluoro shirt, I've got the steel cap boots on, so to avoid any possible injuries. So this is a 15% scale model. The actual size of the container is 116 centimeters wide, 95 centimeters deep, and 116 centimeters high when it's closed. When it's collapsed like this, the BTS container is 44 centimeters high. Now, this particular 3D model has been printed with a yellow front panel and the remainder of the container black, but you can have any colour you like, provided you're willing to order 100 or more of the containers. So we'll start looking at the features that we can see when it's in the collapsed position. So some of the changes, we've increased the amount of signage area on the front panel, so that's that recessed area here. We've placed two handles quite low down for better ergonomics on the front panel, and also they're close to the edge, so you can actually lift the lid or the front panel just using one of the handles from the side. So the other improvements, we've made a number of improvements to the base of the container, and in particular some of them are designed to reduce the instances of forklift damage, and just to make it generally stronger and more robust. The other thing you will notice is that we have these tine bars. So in our current model, that's an optional extra that we install, but in this one it's going to be standard. It'll be in all of the containers. And lastly, the other thing we've added is a little drain plug hole here. So if the container, someone forgets and leaves it out open outside in the rain and the bunded area fills up with water, you can drain it out. Obviously you don't want to drain it out if it's full of acid. So now let's start with erecting the container. And so when you erect the container, you start here at the front, and you take three panels at the same time. So you've got the front panel here, you've got the rear panel, this one here, that's actually the top panel, and then this one here, which is the rear panel. So you rotate them into that vertical position. You then bring up the side panels and you engage them like this. And then we now swing this front and top panel assembly up and over, and we slide the top panel into these grooves here. And you'll see right here, this is the snap flat latch, and the latch is then engages the catch plates on this front panel. That's very important because it'll stop the wind from blowing this over and potentially hitting someone if it's in an outdoor setting. But the other important thing is the snap flat latches are an invention of Uniseg Products. They're a critical improvement because when in the very early models of this container, we used conventional over-center latches. We had a lot of problems with latches being buckled and damaged, either when collapsing the container or also being knocked by forklifts and so forth. The other feature about the snap flat latch is once it is engaged, the spring tension actually makes it very difficult for it to disengage accidentally during transport. So it's a great important safety feature as well. So once you've got this, we call this the front load configuration or A-frame position, and this really is one of the critical benefits of the BTS container. So what it allows people to do is to step in and place stack batteries without having to bend their back to place a battery over a lid or a bin side. So that is one of the critical safety features of the BTS container, which is present in the current version as well as this new version. So let's look at some of the other improvements that we've made to the Mark II. So one of the things is that we've got this, see if I can get it out. We've got a drop-in grid. So in the base of the container, hard to see here, but in the base of the container, there's capacity, abundant area there with a storage capacity of 25 litres. Now, this grid allows, which is a drop-in grid, prevents the liquid from sloshing too much when you've got acid that's leaked into the base of the container. But the other benefit of a drop-in grid, it also makes it can be removed for cleaning, so it makes the cleaning process much easier. And lastly, prevents damage on the base of your container, so people dropping batteries on it from a height or being careless. So we don't mind if the grid gets damaged, it can be easily replaced. So another improvement is we've made this little special recess area here, which might seem like a strange location you probably just see it just here, for housing an IoT device. We use in our sister company Battery Rescue, where we have over 450 of the Mark I BTS containers out deployed with our customers. We use IoT devices to track our containers, and it's an important additional, allows us to do it a lot more efficiently and prevent loss of containers and help keep customers accountable when they do the wrong things, like putting lithium batteries in with lead batteries. So the IoT device allows us to track where the container is. This is a good location because it's actually positioned on the rear panel. And so a lot of IoT devices, you have a access center, so you will be able to tell whether the container is erected in this sort of position or whether it is in the collapsed position. And that can be handy because when it's out at a customer site and you can say, oh, it's still in collapsed position 3 months later, you might be going, well, what's going on? Why aren't they using the container? So, and you can follow them up. The other location where we put a space for a sensor, and again this will be hard for you to see here, but just in here we've got a little spot for a radar sensor, and what we've done some trials on this, and this radar sensor can help determine how full the box is, which if you're operating a collection and you've got a fleet of containers, that can be very handy to go, well, I'm out at this way, my truck's doing a run, oh, that customer there looks like their bin's almost full, so why don't we schedule it, go and do a pickup at the same time. The other thing we've done on this design is we've added a lot more extra signage space, both on the side panels and the rear panels. So these are great for, when you've got dangerous goods signage, when it's collapsed and empty, you don't want that dangerous goods signage being displayed. You want it actually hidden. So anything on any signage on the side panels or on the rear panel cannot be seen. It is only the signage on the front. So we recommend for the signage on the front that you just use, it's mainly for branding purposes and instructions and etc. So when you're ready, when it's all full of batteries, your next step is to close the container. And that's simply you release those latches on the side, you slide this front panel down and over, and it closes like that. You now secure the 6 latches. There's 3 on each side, these 2 and this one here. And then on the other side, you repeat that process. It is now ready for transport. It's that quick and easy. No more stacking batteries on pallets and wrapping and strapping and creating all that extra waste. So when it is full like this, you can stack them on top of each other. So you'll see on top here, we've got these location pins. So you can stack the containers too high when they're full, or when it's in the flat pack. And I'm going to flat pack it again now. It's basically just the process in reverse. So I'm going like that, flat pack. And I've got locator pins here which allow me to stack the containers when they're collapsed, and I can stack them up to 5 high. Will go into a standard C container. So just lastly, also if you're using this in an outdoor location, we always recommend that you keep it closed, because if it rains, you don't want the bunded base filling up with water and mixed with acid and so forth. Just a tip on that one. So I think that's about it. So hopefully it's given you a good insight into the BTS Mark II container. As I said, this will be made from rotor moulding. We've started tooling. We expect to have containers available in the next 8 to 12 months. Thank you.